let's talk about it. Come on and shout it. I talk, you talk, we talk. Women talk life, it ain't no surprise. Baby, you could see if you would open up your eyes. You won't understand if you can't open up your mind. So let's stop wasting time when women talk live.
And welcome to Women's Talk Live Overnights. I'm your girl, April J.
I'm your girl, SassyScribe.
And this is KL Boogie in the dog.
KL is out and about again, y'all. That is our busy girl right there.
Right. So yeah, so she's with us via audio, but she's still here.
You don't know where I might pop up.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So today's show, I know that there has been a lot of talk in regards to Jimmy Kimmel and him being released from ABC. We kind of wanted to take a different approach as to the actual reasoning behind why they did it, and also address why he said what he said. And it wasn't just because he was just pulling something out of his ass. Okay? So
Jimmy, one thing I can say about him is he's always been extremely vocal about certain.
Yeah.
Those who shall remain nameless. He's been very outspoken about it.
Yeah.
And what we witnessed was attack on the First Amendment.
It was.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we want to kind of go beyond the headlines and also address the financial motives behind the dismissal. And we'll get into a little bit of that later in the show. But also I wanted to kind of bring out was that the plan that Project 2025 outlined, this was in there as to threatening independent journalism by slashing funding, kind of as we see now, administration getting involved into what is being said. And when the president doesn't like it, or he gets offended, or he gets his little feelings hurt. So I wanted to kind of bring out some of our WTL facts in regards to that main subject. Project 2025 recommends eliminating federal funding for PBS, NPR, and the corporate of public broadcasting. This would severely impact rural, minorities, and nonprofit newsrooms that rely on these grants to survive, potentially wiping out local news sources in areas where commercial outlets do not operate. They have already done that, pretty much. And these were outlets that basically, I don't understand. I mean, it wasn't like they were biased in any way, but they were since eliminated. The second fact, little known fact, the project advocates expanding the executive branch powers over agencies that regulate media, such as the FCC and FTC. This poses risks that future administrations could exert more pressure on independent and critical outlets, threatening licensing, which we have seen, and regulatory status, which could force journalists to self-censor to avoid political retaliation. Here's another one. Project 2025 calls for reforming Section 230 to weaken protections for online platforms such as this, making them more vulnerable if they moderate political protected content. This would deter platforms from hosting independent and niche journalism for fear of financial penalties or lawsuits if they remove controversial or false information.
Now, that's stupid. Why would you get a penalty for removing false information? This is the deep state
You
that
know why?
that sucker has been talking about this since he came down those that escalator. He's been talking about the deep state, and it just continues to blow my mind at the level of ignorance in this nation to believe that there was a deep state when he in fact is the deep state.
Mhm.
Him and his billionaires that wrote Project 2025. And
Right.
it really doesn't, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean,
It
it makes
doesn't
my
make sense to a
it
rational
makes my head
person.
hurt.
However, when you look at the grand scheme of things and how history plays out, it really follows along the same lines. Once you censor the media and you have control of the media and you have control of comedians who really, you know, how's it say, there's a little truth in every joke. All of those things are what the public look to for guidance. And, they believe the things that they see on TV. They think that their news anchors are like, they see them in the neighborhood, they feel they're trustworthy. So if the BS that you're getting from these outlets and these media that you've trusted for years allows false information, it's not vetted, and you take it in as facts, then yeah, that's a huge way of structuring the public to focus its attention on this, whereas you have five other things that are happening that nobody's talking about that are very important, like children who were murdered in school. During the same time frame, we're talking about
CK.
the
We
death
don't
of
say the full
someone
name.
else,
We say CK.
Right.
the death of someone else, but not even you know we're just talking about, I want to say a regular podcaster, but you're flying flags at half staff, things of that nature. And you had children who died, and you still don't talk about that. You had the Epstein files that every Republican voted on to not release the Epstein files. And why is nobody talking about that? Because we
This
have
is
our
all
attention devoted elsewhere.
this is all a distraction, and it just shows you the level of the attention
Right.
span of Americans is no longer than a gnat. Really, I mean, it's just it continues to blow my mind. And I knew this nation didn't give a damn about children from Columbine.
Yeah.
Day one, the
Yeah.
first one. And then I heard a comedian say the other day, if you want to prevent these from happening in schools, then you need to put in metal detectors. Well, what? They do have metal detectors
Mhm.
in the urban schools,
The urban school. Right.
not in these suburban schools, not in these
Where the
rural
shootings
schools
are happening. That's the
where they
thing.
are happening, where they're happening. And the biggest problem was, and I think what really made me, well, I knew when they said who had struck this dude didn't look like us.
Yeah.
We knew that our community has always been on the right side of history, and they don't listen. Hillary Clinton told people what this fucker was going to do, and
Hmm.
they didn't listen. She was too emotional. She was part of the deep state. Kamala Harris told him what he was going to do. No, she's not black enough. She's too black. She's not smart enough. What did she do? She was the vice president. This tells you that the United States, the people of the United States, don't understand how government works. They never understood civics. They took civics out of school to keep people dumb.
Right.
And this is where we are. And as our beautiful sister Joy Reid said, why y'all mad?
Right.
You
Exactly.
got everything you wanted,
Right.
and you're still mad.
Because they don't
And
want they
you,
don't want to be criticized. That's the thing. They
but
they don't
no,
want
you
to be
know what?
criticized.
You know why they're mad. You
Mhm.
know why
That's
they're mad.
it's
The
just
real
like
reason why y'all are mad is it's not because they don't want to be criticized. The real reason why y'all are mad is because I think in the first time in what 50 some years, our community is one band, one sound. Period. We're not marching, we're not protesting. We are sitting back in silence,
yeah,
watching y'all fight each other because
exactly.
that's who the fight is with. We
Yeah.
understood the assignment.
But
We did it.
I have to object to that because in the same token, when you're saying we're sitting back and they're fighting each other, they've already turned around. If that's the case, why are HBCUs under threat? Why were there two black men that were recently hung in Mississippi that were deemed suicide? If they're fighting each other, they are riling up
But
their base,
they
and that
need,
base who's not educated is out here backtracking and putting us back. Not I can't even say 100 years.
but they're
Okay,
doing their best. They're doing their best to do that, but they're still, everything that they're doing is designed to make us mad. We didn't march in the streets from those hangings. We know black people don't hang themselves. Well,
Right.
I mean, I know one. When I was in high school, the high school classmate hung himself in
But
the
not
rafters.
from a tree. They hung
But
this
right,
man
right,
from a tree.
with two broken legs.
Yes. Like,
With two broken legs. But they
hmm
want us to march. They had to blame somebody. And the minute it happened, HBCUs went on lockdown. We ain't shit to
right,
do with it.
right, right.
They
Now I
need to
will
I was
blame somebody. Anytime you have the governor of a state saying that he was hoping, what he really wanted to say was, I was hoping he wasn't white, but he couldn't say.
hmm
So he said, I was hoping it was an immigrant or somebody from a blue state. No, motherfucker, this bitch was in
wow.
ass Utah.
right,
He
right,
went on TV and said that shit. It was in Utah. It was
right,
the little Biff and Buffy that y'all fucking raised
right,
around guns and telling them all about their freedoms and how anybody that doesn't look like them, think like them, pray like them, love like them is the problem.
right. Now that's a good segue because um when Kimmel said what he said, it wasn't something that he just pulled out of the sky. It really wasn't. Tyler Robertson, who is the grandmother, actually said, this was her.
I
She
know.
said told this in an interview. My son, his dad is a Republican for Trump. Most of my family members are Republicans. I don't know any single one who is a Democrat. So if she's sitting there saying that they are staunch MAGA and proud Republicans, what are people supposed to take from this? This was the man's grandmother.
When she
So,
came out and said that, I loved it because Nancy Mace ass was on TV saying the left, the left, the left. The grandmother was like, no, baby, let me check you with some facts.
yes.
I was like,
So where did
now they want
Kimmel
us to
get
pray
this?
for her.
So Kimmel, obviously, he's taken from the mouth of his grandmother, was like, oh, okay, well, obviously this wasn't the left. And not to mention, they have not found any type of evidence that shows he was part of any of the left organization. He was just mad. So, I
I
mean,
think I think he needed a little bit of coochie. Coochie seems to calm a lot of
Wow.
people.
well, he was getting
I
a lot
mean,
of dick. So, I mean,
yes, he
because he
was.
Whoa.
Yes, he was. Yes, he
so,
was. So, yes, he that look. I'm not gonna maybe let me take that co-signing back. That's what they say. As what they say, Cheeto McTaco Tit says. Well, people are saying.
right, exactly,
People are
exactly,
saying. People
right.
are saying.
But
People are saying.
They offered
Is
a
what his
million
roommate
dollar
trans or something?
reward and gave it to his father.
of course, he was a proud Republican, and he turned his son in. Of course, they gave it to him.
Well, they had to do that because what I've been seeing all over social media from a lot of the people on the right is that we were this close to a civil war, and when that lets me know that they don't understand history because they lost twice already.
Exactly.
So
The
they
South.
don't think, and it's going to be a whole lot of people that look like them on the left that's going to be standing beside people with melanin,
Mm-hmm.
and those that are white adjacent, Asian, Latinos, Cubans, all of y'all, white adjacent people, they don't want y'all either.
No.
They don't want y'all either. Like Nick Fuentes went on this rant about DEI. Fuentes, your ass ain't white either.
No, of course not. I mean, Hispanics are the same way. They come in all different types of colors. So, I mean, come on. Come on.
They still don't want you, and
No, they still.
and you poor white folks living in them trailer parks up in Appalachia, down in over in Arkansas. They don't want y'all either.
Nope, they sure don't.
They don't want you either. You the new niggas.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Um, so here now, obviously, Trump then came out and said that, he was fired because of his ratings and da 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 da. That's bullshit. Um, uh, what happened was that Nexstar and Sinclair, two of the the largest
They're
owners of
broadcasting.
ABC affiliate
Mhm.
stations, quickly announced that they would stop sharing Kimmel's show. This move jeopardized ABC's ability to reach viewers and threatened significant national ad revenue. Here's the reason. The main reason why. Because there was a deal, a merger. Disney CEO Bob Iger and broadcast executives saw silencing Kimmel as a necessary not just for public relations, but to avoid regulatory and shareholder fallout. The comments endangered the Nexstar Tega merger, a central business interest, and raised concern about future government intervention in broadcast licensing. This was due to the fact that the FCC chair or person who's over the FCC, he threatened to take away the FCC's approval, their licensing
for this merger.
And the FCC was supposed to approve. Well, there was a pending multi-billion-dollar broadcasting merger between the two that the FCC had to get approval from the FCC. So this is the reasoning behind why they canceled. It wasn't because Kimmel's ratings were down, or this was a financial decision that they said about what's the other night host?
Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, Stephen Colbert. That's bullshit too, because there was also some type of deal that needed FCC approval. Mm-hmm. And because the administration didn't like it, they just said, oh, for financial reasonings. Y'all keep believing that.
Listen, all we do, this is what I do on a daily basis, working in contracts, with contracts. All you got to do is follow the money.
Exactly.
It all comes down to money.
Always.
It's always the bottom line. And speaking of the bottom line, in 48 hours,
yes,
this cost $3.87 billion and counting. It's like y'all motherfuckers didn't learn from Target.
Exactly.
And then you forgot. Then you forgot that Disney, Hulu, ESPN, Paramount Plus, the whole brand is a global service. Streaming is global. It's not just regulated to the United States. Mm-hmm. It's global. I was online. I saw people in New Zealand, the Netherlands, Germany, Switzerland, Norway. I saw people all over the world saying, hi from New Zealand, hi from Switzerland. I'm canceling my Hulu. I'm canceling my Disney.
Exactly.
And I feel bad because I really want to watch the third season of Reasonable Doubt.
I love that show too.
Yeah.
Third season of Reasonable Doubt.
And I think that's gonna be the fallout because personally I canceled my Hulu. And I'm a big sports fan, but I canceled my ESPN Plus because as far as I'm concerned, it's not going to end with Kimmel.
It's not.
And not to mention, a lot of these celebrities are pulling out of continuing with shows that are aired on Hulu and also aired on Paramount. So a lot of these people are pulling out. And I think they not realizing the backlash from this is going to be 10 times bigger than what you're trying to get the FCC to approve. Mm-hmm. But recently, I just found this out earlier today. now ABC is in talks with Kimmel. However, Sinclair Broadcasting has still refused, even if he comes back on the air, if they put him back on the air, they still refuse to air the show, broadcast the show. This is Sinclair Broadcasting. They're the ones that refuse to, even if he comes back on the air, the only stipulation is that he comes back and he apologizes.
Fuck that.
And he makes a sizable donation to the foundation of this dude.
Fuck that. I would never come back. I would never come back, and I would sue y'all because, see, Jimmy had a contract. Now, I don't know the details of this contract, but
he only had 1 year left.
1 year left, right? So there's some type of contract. Because Stephen Colbert is going to go on to be bigger and better when he goes independent, like Roland Martin, like Tiffany Cross, like Joy Reid. They need to be these independent voices. I love, if y'all don't subscribe and listen to Don Lemon.
Oh, Don Lemon is the best. I love that man.
The thing that happened Absolutely. To Don was that you got fired from CNN. I didn't think you said anything nasty to those women. The shit that you said is some shit that we would say.
Hey,
you
listen,
didn't say anything
it was
the
true.
Best thing.
Did you see, not to pivot, but did you see how he came at
Piers Morgan?
Piers Morgan.
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
yes,
my God.
Indeed.
So he decided he wanted to bring Don
Lemon.
Lemon.
Food taste food.
Right. For all those who have not seen it, Piers Morgan brought Don Lemon on his show, and Don Lemon was under the impression that he wanted to talk about the free speech stuff that was going on with Jimmy Kimmel and everything. However, he wants to bring up the video of him sitting there talking about
CNN.
From CNN. He this talking about the long in the tooth or age or whatever of what's the lady's name?
He wanted to talk about the comment Don made on CNN.
Right,
Don, they had
this ambush.
But he was ambushed because they had an understanding before the show that this is what we're not going to discuss.
Exactly. And he went ahead and did it anyway. And Don Lemon was like, okay, when I saw you and you talking about coming on the show, I was like, sure. He was just like, but I asked you what was supposed to be discussed, and you told me we were going to discuss the Fifth Amendment issue that is going on. And Pierce was kept saying, no, I didn't do that. I didn't do it. He was just like, and I don't know what you discussed with my people. He was like, I can show you the text of what was said as far as what was going to be discussed. And he said, if you're going to come on here, and I mean, if you're going to bring me on here to discuss anything other than that, he called him out on it. And at the end of it, Pierce wanted to call him a dick. And I was just like, really?
Not once did you mention any of this other stuff. You gave me two things. You said you wanted to discuss freedom of speech. And now he said, no, I didn't. You ambushed. But the smoothness of which he gave his delivery, like he wasn't excitable. He wasn't rushed. He was clear and distinct. And he was like, let's do this. This is how you want to roll. Let's do this.
Right.
But that's what that's basically what Don was saying. You wanted to get the angry black man out of him.
Exactly.
And Don wasn't giving it to him.
He wasn't giving it to him. And kudos to him. Kudos to him.
Yeah, because that would have been the headline.
Exactly.
Angry. Don Lemon got angry and acted XYZ on Piers Morgan. No, he gave him exactly what he said. And you know what I'm tired of with all this bullshit that's going on is that we always have to be the bigger person and know how to check our nigga at the door.
Right.
Because we can go from 1 to 1,000 just like that. And Don, I really applaud him, but you could see he was angry.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He kept it in check. He
did. But he was well, I mean, I agreed with him. 100%. Don't bring somebody on your show with misrepresenting what you were going to discuss and then ambush them with something else. At the end of the day, fuck you, Piers Morgan. You the
You
one
still
was
mad.
the
You
dick.
still mad. Meghan Markle didn't want to go on a date. Didn't want to date you. That's why you don't like
Oh
her.
yeah, he's still
He
salty
don't
about
like
that.
her because she left him to go meet Prince Harry. Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't? Yes.
I
Why?
mean,
Who would
it's
want to date
not
Prince
Yes.
even a
Harry
Who
it's
would
anyway?
want
not
your
even
old
a
ass? Like,
it's
come
not
on.
even a comparison. To be
No
honest,
comparison at all.
she was
None.
you were a pity date.
Yes.
She pitied you. So
Right.
she let me be nice, and every woman on this phone and every woman listening has done that. Well, let me go
Hmm.
ahead and just be nice
Yeah, let
and
me
have
go ahead.
coffee. Let
Let
me
yeah,
meet you
give
for a drink.
yeah,
Yeah, and then I can go
let
on
me
about
knock
my
this one
business.
out. And
Yeah, let me
yeah,
right,
keep going.
right, right. I'm gonna go on a date. I'm gonna take one for the team and go on a date. I'm not gonna give
Right.
you nothing. We're gonna
Right.
go on a date
Right.
and we're gonna
So
let this
you can
go.
leave me the hell
But
alone. I
Yes,
already
you
done
can
went
leave
on
me
a date with
alone.
you.
Uh-huh. That's
that is
Yes.
all.
it. That is
Yes.
it. And I know he really wanted to call him something else, but he
Oh yeah.
said dick. He
Oh
said
yeah.
dick.
He did.
He said dick. And it would have went towards
It's
his
so much.
race or his sexuality. But those
Exactly.
were in the that was at the top of Pierce's mind to say one of the two to Dawn.
Hmm.
But he called him a
I
dick.
don't like the hypocrisy. I don't like how the Republicans are so quick to be in the gutter, and as soon as I would say the Democrats, which I really don't agree with all the policies in terms of just that taking the high road. Like, nah, sometimes you gotta take them there because they don't. It's so much aggression that taking the high road's not working. You've riled up so many different people.
Right.
It's like if you think of a zombie movie, that's how I look at it. Like it's an infection. So say doing Rural America and it starts there and you go and you think, okay, well I made it to a city, it should be okay or whatever. And then you go here and it's different people, different dynamics, but the same mentality, like, just angry and wanting to fight and kill each other. And the things that they say they're being excused for, but then when the people who are being victimized say anything, then it's okay, well, you're being a baby about it, or it's not that serious, or well, you can't say that everybody's like that. But you guys say that all the time. Like you don't talk about white on white crime. And so when you have all these other people who only experience people of color through media, that's why media is so important. That's why I love the fact that these young people have their platforms on these different, ways that they can communicate how they feel and what their vision is and what they see happening. Because if it's left up to us, sitting in our recliner or our easy chair watching, ABC or CBS or whatever, we're getting filtered down news. Like I could watch the news and not see one story during the Emmy season. Every story is about, the shows. But I know it's some major shit going on, but nobody's talking about it. Why?
But that's
Because Disney owns this network and they want you to promote their show. So when Dancing with the Stars comes out, every show on Good Morning America is talking about that when I know that there's been some major incident somewhere that nobody's talking about.
which
And
is why
that's the
I,
big issue.
I don't watch any news in America. I watch the BBC. I watch
Al
Al
Jazeera.
Jazeera. I watch or listen
Yep.
to Al Jazeera news. I don't listen to any news that's coming out of the United States because it's filtered. Like you said, it's filtered and it's watered down. And the BBC gives it to you straight. Even NPR and PBS are being censored to a certain degree now. So you
Yeah.
gotta get your news, you gotta get your news elsewhere. And then this new whole TikTok thing that they have going on, people need to remove themselves from that platform. Because once TikTok goes away, I'm deleting it. And I'm never gonna download the new
Oh,
government United States version.
here's the thing with the TikTok. You have to download a whole nother app.
Right, I'm not doing it.
So it's like, okay, so now there's a thing that, okay, if you already have TikTok and you've already established a brand, your following and everything, now you got to download a whole nother app because that's going away, a whole
Yeah.
nother app, and basically start over. Who the hell wants to do that?
I'm gonna tell you who's gonna do it, and I'm gonna be honest with you. The ones that are gonna immediately do it are gonna be the ones on the right, they're going to immediately download that new app. I don't think the kids, when I say kids, I don't think the millennials and Gen Y and all the other ones, I don't think they really understand the impact of how it's really, it is about to fuck y'all money up. So if you got 4 million followers, 5 million followers, and you got 1,500 subscribers at $3, $4, $5 a month, you're gonna have to start that all over again. And
Exactly.
then the people that follow you, that may be people like us on this call, refuse to download that new app. So you're going to lose mega money.
And not to
Mega
mention,
money.
I think what people are not realizing, the algorithms, who's really going to be controlling it?
The government.
Because
The government is
Oracle is
going
the
to
one
control.
that's supposed to be taking over this app.
Yep.
Do you really think that the government's not going to have anything to do with the algorithms for this platform?
Shit.
And
Shit. It's
it
gonna
could
be like True Soul.
further censor stuff like this. So I mean, I don't find any favoritism or anything that sounds good with this deal at all.
If listen, y'all, we gotta fight for the First Amendment, and the only way that that people are trying to do it right now, because the only thing people with money understand is fucking money. Fuck with their money. Don't stop canceling Hulu and Paramount and Disney and ESPN.
Right.
Now you fuck with the sponsors.
Exactly.
Now you fuck their money up.
That's the thing. And that's the thing.
You mess their
you
money up.
definitely start messing with the sponsors. When you start messing with the sponsorship and say, hey, listen, I'm boycotting whoever is supporting Sinclair Media, Disney, all of these platforms that are yielding to this idiot. If we start doing that, you'll start seeing some changes. You'll start seeing some backbones, because then you start messing with these people's money.
Listen, I
But I
found
do want to
5.
say that we always talk about the boycott and things of that nature, but let's put into place the things that people do. Like, if you don't want to use a certain service, there's a person of color who has that service that you don't need to worry about doing without the service. You don't have to buy any type of bath tissue because black people make bath tissue. You don't have to, only buy French wine or white wine. Not, well, white wine, not in that term, but you kind of get where I'm going with this.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
there are black wineries. There are black people who make, whiskey. There are black people who have their own stations and, present their own media content. There are black people that create batteries. We create everything. Like,
We
if you
do.
know where to look, I'm gonna send out a link, and April, you can, put it out, of the things that black people have, like the different
That
things
would
that
be
they have
awesome,
to
Kim.
do.
Yeah. Now,
Because
I
I
do.
don't want to tell people to do without, when we can tell them, yeah,
Well, I
support
mean,
your
if
own.
you
This is
Now,
how you do it.
yeah,
listen,
now,
if you don't want to cancel, because some people don't want to cancel, right?
right.
So if you don't want to cancel, then just don't turn it on. Don't stream any of those platforms, of those
Yeah,
shows that are on those
because then it
platforms.
counts to the numbers.
Right, it
But
counts to the numbers if you don't.
right,
But Netflix, Netflix owner just gave Gavin Newsom like $2-3 million to fight this
right,
redistricting thing that they're going to be having in November. So
right,
you got to look at the companies that do. I found
right.
5 items in my house right now that are owned by the Unilever. Unilever owns Dove,
Mhm.
Knorr, Hellman's. Those are in here.
Right.
It's
Yeah, and,
it's
and that's
on
one
my side.
point. That's one point I want to say. Now, granted, yes, you have people of color who do own stuff, but I don't want to exclude those folks who don't support
The
any of this
allies.
foolishness that is going on. You have small businesses that are owned by not only black people, but you have some that are owned by white people too, who don't support any of this foolishness. So
And gay people and trans
and
people.
trans
And I
people,
mean,
all
Yes.
types of people
yes,
who do not
support this
subscribe
bullshit.
to any of this. You have a lot of small businesses out here that we can support that does not go with this MAGA movement or anything like that. Those are folks out there that do that provide services. So
Ally
yeah, so
cards.
I don't want to just exclude them, because at the end of the day, it ain't every white person. Let's
No,
just
it's
be clear,
not.
because
It's
you have some
not.
white
No.
people out here who are staunch, just against this. Like,
Liberals.
there was one lady, I wish I could remember her name, but there was one lady that I saw who said, if you don't like nothing to do with black and brown people, then stop trying to imitate or take over the stuff that they came up with. Like she was saying, don't watch football no more. Don't watch basketball no more. Like, she was going down the list, and I wish I could remember her name. But there was a white lady. She was just like, she said, she was
Don't
on a
stop at
show.
stop signs
Right. And then
because
she
we
was
create
just like, she said, you have these conservative men who hate liberal white women. She was just like, continue to hate me, because I'm not going to stop saying what I'm saying. And I was just like, oh, damn. Oh,
yeah.
damn.
There's a podcast of two white women that I watch, and I can't think of their names, but that's the way I got the name Cheeto McTaco Tits, because that's
It
what
may be
she
the same
that's
show.
what she calls them. But
It may be the same show,
she
because
has
it's two
a
white
really,
women.
really good, she has a really, really good platform where, everybody, I don't understand the white woman in particular who is okay. And I want to bring this up really quickly because I know we're running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a bill on the floor where they want to go back and go back and take women back in time, not only to take your right to vote, but your right to have credit cards, credits, bank accounts without a signature of a man to with a signature of a man to co-sign it for you. So
Handmaid's
that
Tale.
it's a Handmaid's Tale. So they're really trying to get it started. And the other thing that they're trying to do, because they know that people are trying to leave the country, is they're trying to limit the passports. So
Yes.
if you don't have your passport, everybody should have a passport. Your children, your baby, everybody needs to have a passport, because we don't know how this shit. Because my brother, I was having a conversation with him. He said, "Do you really think if shit really went down that they're gonna let anybody leave?" He said they're gonna close the borders, and it's gonna be to us, not to those people outside the borders. They're gonna
Oh
close the border.
yeah, the same
Uh,
way they did the Berlin Wall overnight. You'll
yep.
wake up one day. If you listen, there's a thing going around where they wanted to take landlines from people's houses, and they were talking about the infrastructure is too degraded. This is not. And I told my mom, I said, you need to keep your landline because they can bring something in, a block of cell signal, but your landline will still be able to make and receive calls. And you have to look at like, how can I put it? Everything that they're doing now, you just, it's already in process. Like
Hmm.
overnight, you're going to see the
Hmm.
changes. They've
Hmm.
already talked about, they look at your cell phone and your social media when you come back to the States, things of that nature. What the hell do you need my cell phone
But
for?
you don't have to give them
You
shit.
don't. You
You
don't have to give them.
don't. Now they may
Yeah.
make you sit in the customs office for 18 hours, but you don't have to give them shit.
No,
So
you don't.
when I travel
Yeah.
overseas, I travel with a burner phone. It ain't even my shit. It ain't
That's
my
what
real
I told.
phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My mother has
Uh,
two landlines that she ain't never getting rid of. She 86.
yeah.
And
My mom has a landline. She refused to get rid of it.
Yeah.
at
Um.
86 years old, my mother and my aunts, they lived through Jim Crow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
So
yeah. So did my parents.
they are extremely concerned,
Exactly.
extremely concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's sad that we gotta kind of like calm them and assuage their fears, but I'm fearful.
Yeah. So am I. So am I.
Me too.
But
And
at the end of the
telling the
day,
boys, you know,
like I said to somebody, I said to someone yesterday, one thing I will not be is silenced.
and people with boys, I tell the boys, y'all go out, y'all gotta go out in packs, because when they attack, they're never alone.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Mm-hmm.
never alone. So
Right.
you need the buddy system. That goes for girls and boys,
Right.
men and women. Don't go out here alone like you used to.
Yeah. Right. Don't
Keep your
travel
head on
alone
a
either.
swivel. Don't travel alone. My niece is traveling from Missouri to here. I'm like, well, let's figure out a way to get a plane ticket together to get this girl out here and back, because I don't want her driving through these states by herself.
Right.
Even though she is white presenting, she's also Hispanic presenting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing I always had that I fear sometimes driving in certain areas because I have been mistaken as being Hispanic. So, yeah, those are, and it's terrible that we have to have this type of fear, but it's different time.
It is a
All
very
right.
different time.
All
Was it
right.
ever gone though? We always teach our black boys and girls what the lesson of what to do when pulled over or when you're stopped by cop. Like it's always been there. It's just we now have to pull from that basket of skill sets. I'll put it that way. Now we're
Mm-hmm.
being tasked to pull from everything that grandma and grandpa and aunties and uncles was talking about. We see it full time in our own generation.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's time to react. It's like muscle memory. It was already put in us.
They play the long game. And what this time is really showing us, and I'm glad I'm an independent, the Democrats had no fucking plan.
Yeah. Not at all.
They were just caught flat-footed with no plan. They knew it, and for whatever believed reason, they believed in the greater of humanity when these motherfuckers have no humanity in them. None. They fed us, our children, to alligators. They used to eat us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They gave dirty blankets to wipe out a whole nation of people.
Right. Well, I definitely, I know we're running out of time. I definitely
Yes,
am
I'm
thankful
sorry.
to Representative Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett.
She
Yes.
she's a beast at what she does, and she definitely puts them in their place.
Sure.
Um,
I
so
like
I want to
AOC
do real,
too.
yeah. I want to real quick go to our last week's poll, which was what is your biggest fear in this environment? And the number one was losing freedoms, which we
Mm-hmm.
just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
For this week's poll, we are talking about what is your main concern regarding freedom of speech. So let us know. We'll let you know what happened next week. All right, y'all. So
All right.
my final thought of the day: without freedom of speech, we won't know who the idiots are.
I love that.
Case in point, uh, the president of the United States, biggest idiot ever. Sorry,
And
not sorry.
my
All
administration.
right. All right, y'all. This is Women's Talk Live overnights with your girl, April J.
I'm your girl, SassyScribe.
And this is KL Boogie.
All right, y'all. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.
Women